Bonsai Pact.
I don't see you guys.
In time, Eugene. In due time.
Here we are.
For a second,
this is a nice format.
Nick is like jamming like live.
Yeah, I mean, at one point it was live.
That was an interesting track, man. That was like a mix of things.
Yes, yeah, that's what happens with like three very different styles of musician get together. Yeah, Robbie the Robot, Rob Radish, the Radish Rob, the Radical Radish. He is an excellent percussionist. Just so many rhythms and spaces within rhythms, and a jazz player, incredible to play with, and old Slim Pickens, Khalibi the guitarist. Uh, yes, excellent. That cowboy style, like that old.
Mm-hmm. Like saloon almost style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like blues
Yes,
saloon or something.
a blues saloon from some alternate universe where it's always the Wild West. But
To some people, it's
yeah,
always the Wild West. I think Trump is one of those people.
yes, yes, and I mean, he may not be the fastest gun in the West, but he's often the fastest gun on the stage.
Yes,
That's
people
for
tell
sure.
me. I like how he gives himself praise through other people. Like, they said it was the highest number.
It was
The
so
best.
huge. The best. They'd never seen anything like it. They looked at me and they said, "It's amazing. How can you do this?" And I said, "It's because it's the
Yeah,
American
yeah.
people. It's not me. It wasn't me.
Yes,
That's
it's
what they
the
wanted."
narrative that they run for each other. Like Andrew Tate does the same thing. He's like, people come up to me, I'm a top G, and they say, "How do you do blank blank blank?" And then he answers his own question by giving himself praise. It's definitely
Yes.
a formula for like credibility for people who desperately need acknowledgement.
Yeah, he's kind of a that happened sort of, like most of his stories are that happened. But I mean, the guy drives supercars and he's driving around. He lives in Romania right now, so I don't know. You know maybe Andrew Tate has talked to some of Jenya's family. Maybe they've
Haha.
Right?
hung out.
Honestly, they probably go
I
to the
mean, there's
same
some smart,
clubs.
yeah, some smart
You,
kids out there, some smart cousins. It was
yes, I
like
was thinking cousins.
he talked. Tate told this story. I'm gonna butcher it a little bit, but I'll paraphrase it as best I can. But
Go for it.
it's like some Romanian kid is like a hustler, and he really respected him because he's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm a photographer. He told us some bullshit line, and he's like, oh yeah, I noticed those guys. Those guys had lots of supercars and stuff. So I see where the money is, and I got to get towards the money. I at least have to, if I want to have money, I have to get near it, right? So he's like, let me go to these guys, and that reminded me also of your Rolls Royce and all of those, like the cars that you shoot. So this kid was kind of like hustling, doing what you do. I'm sure in an infinitely less professional manner.
You never know. Everybody's an expert in their own field, you know,
Sure,
whatever that might
sure.
be, as niche as it is.
Yes, it's sometimes Nietzsche is your niche. It could be. But
Ah,
yeah.
thanks for joining us today, gentlemen.
Yes, thank
What's
you.
the status of Yuri? Have you seen his name
Uh,
popping yet?
hide nor hair has been heard here nor there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This is just the warm
But
up.
yes,
Hope you guys are
it's
staying
warming.
warm and sane. Really enjoyed
Well,
our session last week. It was phenomenal. The
Yeah.
yes, me too.
fire, the hike amongst the cemeteries of the lost souls, of the
We pretty
mind.
much pretty much did everything that day.
Yeah, like a little bit of everything,
Yes,
except a cold plunge.
The only thing
it's
we
We'll
the only
get
didn't
there.
do,
missing.
the only thing we didn't do was DMT.
Yes. Oh, yes.
One day,
That's
one
really
day,
ignited.
when they legalize it.
I mean, it's in most plants, most animals, just in very small quantities.
Yeah, it kind of brings up how can you make an endogenous substance illegal? It's like making testosterone illegal. It's like that's what didn't Terrence McKenna said. That's like everyone's holding. You know.
Yes, yes. He's like, we're all having constant
Yeah.
reactions.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Welcome,
nice.
Eugene. Good to see you guys.
Yes, I like this. I like the the Three Stooges, the Three Musketeers, the three popular flavors of ice cream. You know, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry.
Yeah, the Trinity.
Obviously, Eugene is strawberry. It's like so. It's a
Yes.
toss-up, vanilla or chocolate for you and me. I don't know. You
I'm
pick.
like a mocha or a matcha.
mocha.
Matcha green.
Matcha. Oh, see, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I wonder what I would be.
Oh, matcha. That's pretty good.
What
I
ice
like
cream
to-
has a bunch of hair in it? In my experience, butter pecan is the one with a lot of hair in it.
I'll go with the chocolate. Like
Yeah,
you
maybe-
would be the chocolate.
I am the chocolate. Okay, I'm the chocolate. All right. I mean, vanilla is. I feel like it's been done, but a good vanilla, like a very nice, Tahitian vanilla,
Well,
with a
Nick-
cured like bourbon.
From my
yes.
personal experience, you are way above. Sorry, you're way
Way. Don't help him.
wait.
Wait. You got this, Eugene.
You are way.
At least it's not soy.
Way.
It could be way worse.
Yeah.
No,
Indeed.
no. Okay, I got it. You are
Pea?
more than just vanilla.
You look at yourself in the mirror. You tell yourself that every day. You're more
You're
than
more
just
than just
vanilla.
vanilla. You hear me? You're not a starter ice cream. You're advanced level. You're olive oil.
You know how people like. I think there's a way to like describe somebody like, oh, you're so vanilla, like like kind of like boring, boring.
Yeah. It's classic.
Which is crazy because vanilla is in almost all of the flavors. Like they'll put it in there, just like salt. Oh, salt is boring. Yeah, but you need it for every single other dish. It's like, so is it boring or is it the thing that makes everything else less boring?
Yes.
It's like it provides some kind of a background. Maybe that's what the vanilla is. The vanilla is the filler. If you didn't have vanilla ice cream, how could you have like a cherry jubilee kind of thing, right? Because it'd be overwhelming with like this flavor and that flavor and this flavor. There's something about a nice, clean, pure, untainted vanilla ice cream that you can have. Like if you don't like the cherries, you can take them out if you don't like the texture, but it'll take whatever flavor you lend it. Something
Yeah,
nice
you need a
about that.
carrier, in like most situations. You need some sort of base, some sort of
Yes.
matrix for things
Did you,
to happen in.
A
Did you
vehicle.
know that vanilla is the second most expensive spice?
I did not.
Let's guess the number one.
Saffron.
That would be my guess. The
It's
little
true.
red.
Saffron.
It's from like flowers, right? And-
Yes, it's the stamen of the Crocus sativus, right? Isn't it Christmas rose, right? Doesn't it like?
How would
what
you
it is?
describe the taste of it? And
Yeah,
how is it
crocus.
applied in cooking?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had saffron.
Oh, you've had it if you've had like
You've had
yellow rice at an Indian place. You've had saffron, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
see,
It's-
they're like little stamens. It looks like a tiny hair. It looks like one of your beard hairs,
Yeah.
and they'll put like a little a couple of
Yeah.
them.
Wow.
See, there
Yeah.
you go, Nick. You'd be saffron.
Okay, yes, oh gosh.
If I'm matcha, you're saffron.
Yes. Guess
The worst like Tuesday morning stripper name. That's like an 88. Welcome now, Saffron to the stage.
Yeah.
Everybody. Jesus.
Guess who produces 90% of the world total of saffron? 90%.
Which country or like
Yeah. Which country?
I want to say India.
I want to say Africa.
No.
India.
Yuriy is here. Maybe he knows.
Maybe he knows.
Where
That's a quick.
Yeah.
saffron
we'll ask
is.
him.
I'll wait till he gets his camera set up and everything
enough.
until he's ready. But where's North Korea?
Mm-mm.
No.
But
No.
close.
I
Yes,
thought
but
they
no,
could
but
do
close.
so. South Korea. South Korea.
Thailand.
Mm-mm.
Vietnam.
Mm-mm.
Kuwait.
China.
Nope.
Any hints, Eugene?
And it's hot.
Well, you
in
said
there.
close to North Korea, so I don't know,
Yeah.
like
South Korea?
Uzbekistan,
Korea.
Georgia.
No. It's not close. It's not close to South Korea, but it's close.
Oh, so when you said close, you were lying.
Yes,
I said it was related. There's
I
an
didn't mean-
association there.
I didn't mean close as distant. I meant related.
Related.
Yo,
I see.
Yuriy in the house.
Yuriy.
Can you guys see me? Am I live?
We
Yeah.
can see you. And
You're
we
live.
can hear you.
And
Welcome, man.
he has the Last Supper behind him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the
Right.
lights. I got the lights set up behind it too. So they
Beautiful.
you turn off the light. They,
It's a great backdrop. It's very suiting.
see that?
Oh.
Oh, what?
It's
What?
LED.
Light. I
It
I
has
found this
LEDs in it.
piece. I went to a thrift store, and I was looking for. I don't know. I was just looking for random art for my place. I found this piece just sitting there, dusty. So I picked it up for $20. Forget how much I paid. It was like $20 or 25. Cleaned it up
Amazing.
with a lint roller. Put some lights in the back, and it's perfect. It's a
Nice,
big
man.
piece.
It
It's
suits
velvet.
you.
Very cool.
Velvet. And it has
Is that
little LEDs in it.
Oh,
Is that a
again, look at the
painting?
look. Hey, Alex, look at the three arches.
There's 3 arches. Yes. Indeed.
Should be. Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah, thanks.
we kind of
thanks
have a
for
rough
having us.
idea of what we wanted to discuss, but I don't know if the rest of the guys are going to be joining us, but we can start slow. How you been, man? How's life? We haven't heard from you for a little while.
It's been fun. It's been fast paced.
Yeah.
Every day is just seems like time speeds up.
Mm.
Not enough days in the week. The bills are
For what
piling up.
specifically?
You know, like when you got to pay rent every month, and you're like, why are these months going by so fast? But it's been good. I've been
Yeah.
kind of keeping up with crypto and you know everything about COVID is all boring now.
You've
So
been following
that's
it too.
Over
more or
it.
less, yes.
old school,
Yeah.
old stuff. And you know, I've been noticing since I go to people's homes so much. Last year it was about 50-50. Some people asked me to put on a mask. Most people
Mhm.
wore a mask, and then it started to like change where people wear a mask, but they're like, you don't have to if you don't want to. And now nobody's
Mhm.
wearing a mask, so it's a good sign in Seattle.
Seattle really took it seriously, compared
Yeah.
to other places.
I was gonna say a little too late, a little too little.
And with the COVID passports as well, it was required for most public gatherings of any kind for a little while there. How did you manage, Yuri?
Um,
With
well,
or without
the
a
only
COVID
thing
password?
that was managed the COVID stuff, or what?
Yeah, like do you get a COVID passport?
Oh no, well I just kind of ignored everything for a while, and then but my job, with my job, I visit so many homes, and
Yeah.
I thought it'd
Did
be
you
more
have to
difficult.
mask up?
Sometimes I would have to. I
Yeah.
bought these nice cloth ones. Sometimes I had to, it's just like I got tired of hearing it from the managers going, "Hey, we get it, but people complain and it's a corporation, so
Yeah,
they abide by all the rules, so
they
they
have to.
expect their
Yeah,
employees to do it. So for a while, but now I don't remember the last time I had to, so it's good. It's good. It's been better
that's good news.
because I
Yeah, it
can't
seems
work.
like
I
it's
have to. It's a physical job.
yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean,
Feels like it's winding
what I
down.
was told is that it doesn't stop your oxygen flow at all. It has no effect on that,
Well, that's not
especially when
true.
it gets soaked with sweat and spit. It's even easier to
Yeah,
breathe through when it's damp, right?
Dude,
it's a
I
shit
remember
show.
working. I had a job. I did a commercial job, and that was the worst part because they had a superintendent walking around checking and constantly reminding you. And it was about like mid-August, so us wearing a mask in a filthy environment, no air, AC, and your mask gets sweaty.
Yeah,
And I was like, dude, this is not healthy.
of course.
We worked there for a few months and we had to quit.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's all over. I don't think they require anything like that anymore.
Who's we? Do you
We,
identify as they them?
I just had a coworker with me that
Okay,
I worked with me all this whole time.
got it.
So
What
that was
was what
part
was
part.
the previous job?
I do window covering, so I sometimes I do commercial or residential. So with COVID, I thought commercial would be easier, but it turned out that it was the
Oh,
opposite.
I
So I
got it.
just went back to doing residential
Residential.
again.
Yeah.
And dealing with people is easier than dealing with companies and
Yeah,
their
yeah,
rules and regulations.
yeah. HR and managers and owners and yeah, quota
Contractors
and
and
contract.
builders and they're that's all about safety for them, so they had to do it.
Were you
But now
making
we're
more money for working for commercial in the
not
commercial
not
field or?
necessarily. I mean, if you do service like installation or something, it's always better to work residential in my job because
Mm,
you charge you can kind of manage and you charge a little more for each job, but commercial they just give you a set price and you do a lot more work and it's more consistent, but you make less if you break it down.
right, I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm. I mean, they make more for sure. Whoever's
because it's a timely thing.
above.
Like they have a time schedule and they have to complete each floor, so it's not only that you make less, but you're constantly pressured to finish on time.
Right,
Kind
there's
of like working for
deadline.
Amazon or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They want you like be working on the next project next week, so they have to like they put try make sure you finish it. That
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So now you're back with the residential, right? And it's a
Yeah,
different
but
company.
it's just work. Like for me, like I just it's like a chore for me, like, doing dishes or folding laundry, going to work. So
Right.
it's nothing. I like my job, but it's not nothing to have a conversation about. It's not that fun.
All right, guys, let's move on. We talked enough.
Yeah,
Cut it
no,
out. Cut it out.
you were talking about crypto, right? Let's see if you've been keeping up on
Oh
that. That's
yeah,
kind
I
of
mean, crypto is definitely more exciting to talk about it now than when we last spoke. Because when we last spoke, it was the
I don't
bull
believe
market
you.
at the top, and everybody was in it. Everybody was buying, even people that didn't know what crypto was, they're buying.
I
So
see
that's when
what
you
you're
don't want to
saying.
buy. Now that
Right.
everybody's after the FTX scandal and everything, Terra Luna, everything is now very people are doubting it, and this is when it's exciting for me because you start buying more, especially Bitcoin, something that has proved itself.
So
hmm,
buy what's it
yeah,
called when people say buy the dip, buy the dip. Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
like Warren Buffett would
I don't
say,
know if
the
this is a
streets
dip.
are bleeding.
This is like a
It's a
pit,
dip.
like an
I
open.
think it's gonna continue to go down. I think
Oh, is it?
we're gonna have another major just depressing moment for people that are new, especially to put a little bit of money into it,
Right.
is going to hit him hard. And I feel like Bitcoin might actually hit 13 to 12,000 before slowly going up and skyrocketing again.
Wait, it dropped to what number?
12,
I'm looking for
15?
13,000.
13,000. Yeah,
That's
because
what
right
I'm
now
going to get in.
right now the price of Bitcoin is the same as it was in November 13th, 2020. So it dropped to 2020 2 years ago. And then literally just hold on a second. Like a half a year ago, same year was 7,000. So imagine like that whole year, that whole 2020 was a good year for a Bitcoin. And then let's not forget the 60,000 in 2021. I feel like that's where, I feel like that's when a lot of people get cashed out, you know.
Depends on how early you got into the crypto. For me, like I've been through 2 bull runs already, 2 tops, and there's a correlation, and it's always a 4-year cycle. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
looking
Okay.
at me, I'm not a day trader. I don't trade. I just buy when I know it's a good price, and I hold on to it, and I
Mm,
will definitely sell again at the top when that comes. But this is definitely the bottom again. So this is a buying time right now.
Did
And
you, yeah, did you got a chance to sell any when it was when it went up to 60,000?
I did not own Bitcoin because I sold before it had that high. I sold
Oh,
everything when it was in the 40s, 30s. And
okay.
not that I had a lot, but I just thought I would transfer that before, waiting too long because I didn't know where
Right.
Bitcoin was heading. I knew that it's not going to hit 100,000 because of people I listen to. They're like, it just doesn't have it doesn't have. It might go up to 100,000, but it's if you're cashing out with profit, you would just do it,
Right.
even if it still keeps going up. Um, just jumping off the train before it hits the cliff. But
Yeah,
some
it makes
people,
sense.
when they cashed out at 70 grand, obviously, that's a genius move because nobody knew where it was going at the time. But it was
Uh,
it was at the top.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's more like lucky. Like kind of like either way you read the room really well, or you got lucky, or you just knew something that other people didn't know, right? It's like, oh, it's going to crash because of this, and you're like, okay, you took the advice of that person, you just sold, and now you're like, oh shit, I'm glad I sold because now I can buy back, right?
Yeah,
I
but
sold at
if you
60,
if,
buy it
if
back at
you're
50.
talking about let's say somebody put in $500, right, when it was 30,000, and then it was
It's not a lot of money.
60,000, they made 500
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah,
That's
it's
not
not.
exciting.
It's
It's like whatever.
right, right,
But if you
right,
had
right.
if you had $1 million you put in at 12,000, and then it goes to 70 and you cashed out, yeah, it's a totally different ball game at that point. Depends on how much you're willing to risk. And most people that are getting in, they're not risking a lot, but they're the biggest crybabies when they don't cash out their $100 profit. And
Yeah,
that's who the people are on YouTube, and all these little kids getting their crypto YouTube channels opened up, and they're like, oh man, I wish I sold at the top, but I only had $1,000 in it.
so I think
So, but
yeah, when I got into um stock exchange, and you know um I started with Tesla, and I got in when stock price was like $20. um and now it's like almost 200. So that's how much is that? That's like,
That's 10x.
yeah, how much
20 to
is that?
200, yeah.
Yeah, that's 10x, yeah. But I don't think I had any idea it's going to go that high. Like, it's more of like same thing with Bitcoin. Like, I don't think I had any idea that if I put like $500, right, like in like 5 years, I'm going to have what, 5,000? Is that the math? 10x?
No.
500 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
if you
that
look
10x?
at Bitcoin, it was a dollar or under a dollar in 2011,
Hmm.
and then 2017 hit a high of 20,000.
Right.
I
And
found
then
out about Bitcoin at 230. So for me, that was unreal. Going from 230, and in a 2 year span, you're at 20 grand per coin.
that's crazy.
And this
That is
this
crazy.
from then it fell during COVID. It was around 3,000, and then it went to 70,000. So from 3,000 to 70,000, I wasn't excited. I wasn't surprised, but now it's at 16 right now as we speak. Watch it go. This next bull run, I'm predicting it going over 200,000 per Bitcoin, which is a reasonable, not even not even a surprising move for the next run up, but it's definitely going over 100. It's not even a maybe.
Huh. Why do you think people are still like trusting or like still investing in Bitcoin after like everything that happened with cryptocurrency for the past, let's say, 3 years? For the past three
Why
years?
why why? So if you go back to 19 or 2001, the same question would be like, why do people still trust the internet, computers, when all this tech bubble happened,
Right.
2001? It's not. I don't think the world is going to be the same in 5 years. I think everything's going to move into, whether we like it or not, into this world of technology, and the value will not be just money. Value will be everything. NFTs. You look at what's going on with NFTs. Value will be different for everybody. So if I wanted to buy something from you, I can pay you in whatever value you find or whatever you want as payment. So I can pay you in whatever crypto you want. I can pay you with NFTs, anything that's valuable that you find a value in, because you might not like privacy coins and I do, and I want to be paid in privacy coins, and you can
Hmm.
transfer whatever you have into that and pay me with that. And that's what the world is becoming. And the more people are involved, whether they like it or not, they will be. This technology, and Bitcoin is the main. It's like Red Bull of energy drinks.
It's the
It's
gold
always going to
standard.
be up. It's
Yeah, they
the
say
only
like
one that you use to transfer from one coin to the other, and most of the time you have to go through Bitcoin to cash out. So if you wanted to cash
Interesting.
out your profits, you're going to have to go through Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is always going to be king, unless something changes where the government regulation, where they make their own cryptocurrency that you don't have to go through Bitcoin to cash out, then it might flip.
Hmm.
And what are the chances of that?
It's there. I think the government is getting their feet wet. They're
Yeah.
it's still new. We're still early in the game, so it'll take a few years, but we're going there. It's a good opportunity to buy some Bitcoin right now if you have a few extra dollars, in my
A
opinion.
few thousand, $1,000, maybe
A few
10, maybe
thousand.
20,000.
Listen, if you put a few $1,000s into Bitcoin and wait 5 years, I'll buy that 2,000 from you for 10,000. But that's
What?
how
You're gonna
It's all about the
he's
timing,
shorting.
huh?
He's
I'll
shorting it
pay you
right
ten
now.
thousand dollars for that Bitcoin. You buy that Bitcoin, you send me that Bitcoin to my wallet, I'll hold it for you,
I see
and
what you're
then I'll
saying.
buy it
I see
back
what you're
from you
saying.
for 10,000.
I see what you're
Because
saying.
it's just going to be so much higher. You got to realize, when I talked to you about crypto, it was a few years back, 2017. Bitcoin was just $1,000 or more,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just maybe like it was under five, and we
In
went through ups and downs. But
2017,
look,
no, in twenty seventeen, 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 no, in twenty seventeen Oh yeah, 2017 was about at the beginning of 2017 was $1,000,
Yeah, I
and
think it was
Yeah.
right
that
after that.
When was it like 5 or 6 grand? So I remember I was driving Lyft, and this kid I picked up on the east side. He was like, he had 2 jobs. One was brokering Bitcoin. I was like, oh yeah, how does that work out? Well, I sell complete whole Bitcoins, only working like one individual, and they were like 6 grand at the time. And he was selling these like hotcakes to people, and he was also
Six
selling
grand
like
was a short
sneakers.
short period.
Hmm.
Yes. So like I think he did super well. I think he was like 17 years old, rolling in dough, just like.
It's
taking
a lot of
taking
luck,
left.
you know. If they got in early, there a lot of kids that gamers especially playing World of Warcraft. When Bitcoin wasn't even around to buy, they used.
Hmm.
I mean, if you look at the history of Bitcoin, it came from gamers using it, and then Silk Road with
Mm.
Rob
Right.
That's right.
Ulbricht, and he's still in prison. Um,
Hmm.
and you know, if he settled for the 10 years they were offering him, he would have been out by now, and he would have had billions of dollars in Bitcoin because they confiscated thousands of
Oh
Bitcoin from him,
yeah, absolutely. That was a
and
huge
he
story.
regrets it. He regrets it
So does
because
the
nobody
government
knew.
retain those Bitcoin in its
They
civil
auctioned them
asset
off in
forfeiture?
2000. They auctioned them off in 2016. I remember
Oh,
when they did for. I think they
dang.
sold each Bitcoin for under $400 at the time to somebody bought them. I think
So,
the brothers, the Facebook brothers bought them. What are those called? What are
oh, the
the names?
Winklevoss twins.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
they
Yeah.
bought a bunch of the auctioned off coins.
Man, what
Well,
a shit show! Wow.
yeah, I guess you got to be really connected to know of a government auction of a cryptocurrency and to be able to effectively bid on it.
The
And
governments will manipulate the market by using the scam, just like FTX. They were involved in this big scam that laundered money through Ukraine, and obviously the commission
And the
went to
Democratic
different
Party.
wallets. Democratic Party, and on top of it, they bought a bunch of people that are like David Leary and Tom Brady and all these people that were like giving it light and making it more legit than people didn't even look into it because they're like, oh, if Tom Brady and David Leary on television and it's on the news, must be legit. We don't even have to look at it into it, but everybody was
Kevin
caught out.
O'Leary, are you talking about? Mr.
Kevin
Wonderful?
O'Leary, yes, and they also bought. They paid $100 million to have their FTX on a stadium, football stadium,
In
and
Florida,
all that
right?
money was people's money. So that was a
Yes,
scam from
and
day
football
one.
stadiums are 501c3s, so they're tax exempt.
Interesting. I was
And it's the
surprised to
donation made
hear.
to a tax free. Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that that guy Sam
Sam
Bankman.
Bankman Fried. Bankman. He's a
Exactly.
bankman.
See, he was the
But
second.
Fried is joy.
He was
Yeah.
the second highest donor to the Democratic Party, only after who? George Soros.
Of
Of course.
course. Of course.
They had a planned
Yes.
event with Zelensky, Bankman Fried, who else? Ron Paul. I forget who.
No, it
I don't
was the
think it
guy
was
with
Ron
the
Ron
black
Paul.
Paul.
Somebody else.
Which one
BlackRock.
of these is not like the other?
Right?
Ron Paul
No,
might have been
it's
in on it,
it's a
but
C. It was the CEO of BlackRock,
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
and
so
then and
David
then
Fink.
and then
Yes?
the lady has to do with the FSC or
oh yeah, the
something.
one lady. You're right. Yeah,
The
so
old
it's a
one
World
old lady
Economic
with
Forum.
short
Janet
hair.
Yellen?
Yes,
Yes, Genial. Yeah.
So tell
World
us,
Economic
Yuri,
Forum guys.
how do you think FTX was used as like this slush fund slash money laundering scheme, and was the government involved in it?
I don't think initially it was supposed to be a scam. Alameda was they were if Alameda went down, FTT coin would go down, and they knew that. So they took the money from the exchange
Hmm.
from FTX and put more and more money into Alameda because of the bear market. Like you can't hide scams during the bear market. You can only hide them to the bull market through the bull market. Like
Hmm.
BitConnect was the first big scam. Terra Luna was the second. Everything happens during the the bear market, either the beginning of the
Interesting.
bear market or at the bottom. When everything's going up, these scams shine, and that's where they make the most money. I don't think it was
Uh
supposed to be a scam. I think they thought they'd get away with it, but it
huh.
didn't work
Still
out.
sounds like a scam.
Yeah,
They thought they'd
that
get
sounds
away
like a
with it.
scam. Oh yeah, no, I
I
wasn't doing
think
anything
that
bad. I was gonna get away with it.
if the kid was not put in place for this scam, it was actually his idea and his if he started it and then everything started. I believe that there was somebody else involved
Yes.
before these companies were even created. I think that somebody was sponsoring. And look at Bankman Fried's parents. They're regulators, uh, currency
Oh,
regulators, aren't they?
so he
So
had
there's a lot
some
of
sort of experience and background
there's
with
a
his
lot of
parents
his
doing that.
parents and his girlfriend, that pretty one. Um, they I think she's got some connections with her family as well. So there's a lot of shady stuff going on in the
He
background.
was in. He was in to be able to make that happen. He was hooked up. I mean,
Sure, you gotta have connections. Like, how do you think you're gonna make billions of dollars without knowing people who also have billions of dollars? I don't think
He came
so.
out of
and
nowhere, and now he's the golden boy of the Democratic Party. Give me a break.
he
Yeah.
was until the
Uh,
scam broke, right?
and then
Yes.
Maker creator uh, was was murdered in Puerto Rico, and he he had some connection to some information about. Um, and I don't want to. It's just a conspiracy at this point. But FTX involved in child trafficking and all that stuff that's going on in Puerto Rico and Bahamas. He had some information that, and then he was murdered. If you look at
Oh,
Maker Dow, CEO, found dead in Porto, and there's a lot of connection to FTX as well. So there's a lot of dark stuff going on. It's not just a scam. I think that they were connected with some people that ran something huge, and
like the government.
perhaps child trafficking connections and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, maybe that's where all of the billions went that they paid Ghislaine and Jeffrey. You
Mm,
know, uh,
interesting.
maybe that's where like all the receipts are. The receipts are in like FTX stuff. And like, oh, we lost everything. Everything's gone. There's no way you can find
Oh, we
any.
got we poor Sam. Oh, he will get back on his feet. He screwed up. Whoops. And now something else will happen. It's going to be forgotten. You'll see this kid's going to get off with a
You
slap on the
think?
wrist.
I mean, he
I
was flying to
Even
Dubai
if they
last
say
time
he's
we
going to
were.
prison, even if they say he's
Yeah.
going to prison, it's like saying Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her name is, she went to prison. Where
She.
is she staying? Who does anybody know if
Yeah.
she's
Let's
actually in
discuss that.
prison?
I mean,
Or
you
Jeffrey
saw
Epstein, is he
the
really dead?
we saw the drawings of Jelaine in a courthouse, right? Because photos weren't allowed. But we really, and we're told a narrative that, she was put into some women's prison for X amount of time. But confirmation wise, that might be harder to do than just, fact checking. Because I'm
Yeah,
sure they
because
could
I'm sure
buy
the
a narrative.
security cameras are all dead, so there's no way you can tell if she's actually at the prison.
Well, her prosecution wasn't very important. We were really worried about Johnny Depp at that moment.
Oh yeah, I
What's
remember.
Right,
going to happen to
right.
him? Is he going to get bullied by that blondie? or will
No,
he
like
come out
misogyny was
as a
on
winner?
trial, and again, it succeeded because we live in a rape
His
culture where we
she
promote and accept rapists.
she made him bleed by throwing a bottle at him. So much drama at that, keeping up with all of that information while
I
hiding
mean,
the real story of what's going on over there. They overshadowed
hmm.
it with Johnny Depp, and they did a good job. And then the war
Do you think
started.
do you think that's what happened? Like you think that was intentionally like
Why were
the
they
you mean
showing
like
the
the
trial? Why were they showing the trial everywhere? Like we give a shit about what happens in Johnny Depp's relationship. There was a
I,
big there's a big story going around about Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was going through the court system. Oh, at the same time, Johnny Depp's trial.
yeah,
So yeah,
you
I
have to
don't
have
know if it had
something to
anything to do with it.
distract. I remember
It's always
something
a distraction.
about missiles in Bosnia when Clinton was in the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Is that do I have that memory right? Does that ring a bell for somebody? I'm
I
pretty
remember
sure.
delivering newspapers at the time when his scandal was going around. Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I was a newspaper boy, so I'd see a lot of Monica Lewinsky on that front page. It was nice. But I
Yes.
remember that time. I don't remember it. Yeah, I was a kid, so I didn't know. But yeah, that was the story that was pushed as Bill Clinton being impeached.
Wait, so Yuri, before we forget before we move
Yeah.
to a different subject, can you so let's think about FTX in Ukraine. Can you explain what's going on and like what are they for? Like, is it
Hmm.
confirmed that there's a lot of what like a
Yes.
lot of accounts are created for
It's
Ukrainian people? The money.
How
yes.
was it used? How was it
It's
used and
confirmed.
laundered?
It's confirmed that the money was not laundered, but it was sent. And Zelensky um, and Ukraine were funded through the FTX exchange,
Hmm.
right? So the money wasn't laundered; it was sent through the exchange. It was all transparent. And if you look at it, all of these people were involved in FTX, not because FTX, not they didn't they're saying they didn't know it was a scam. We just used
Mm,
it as a payment system. And since
right.
Hmm.
since Bankman is such a good boy and he's given us millions of dollars to support us as Democrats,
Right.
and we actually maybe we won because of him. He's nice enough, so we're
Hmm.
going to use his exchange to to give it back to uh, you can find all the records. It's all on the blockchain. How much money was transferred to Ukraine, and FTX was the exchange they used, but it
Primarily
wasn't a
Wow.
scam at the time. It was
Wow.
just an
So
exchange.
like
payment method.
billions of
Yeah,
dollars went through FTX with the destination in Ukraine to wallets in Ukraine.
yeah, and then
Into the Democratic Party.
Ukraine sent money back to people in different wallets and whatever they needed to send back. So it was money moving around. And
Uh
now
huh.
that
Uh
the
huh.
trial is still going on, we'll know details in just maybe it'll take a year, maybe two, but you'll know it's going to pop its ugly head what happened with FTX. And
Yeah.
a lot of people will have to answer for those
I,
funds because it's
I,
billions of dollars.
I, yeah, I don't have a lot of hope. It's like it reminds me of the Hunter Biden laptop. It's been like that laptop has been around for like what 3 years now, and like
Yeah,
still like we don't know what was that. Like what was the
we
Time,
laptop?
do.
What
We
was
the
do.
the
more
We
link?
could.
time they drag it, the less we don't care at that point. Like people forget quickly. Information is there's going to
Yeah.
be something new, and FTX will be old news, and that's what they
Yeah.
always do. They make a big deal, they put him on trial, they slap him on the wrist, and the trial will keep going on until we don't care about the story
But
anymore.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're making a big deal though. Like I haven't seen a big deal in news media. I've seen a big deal on Twitter. People like
It's a
comment on
huge deal in the
Twitter,
crypto world, in the crypto
but
community. It's a huge deal.
it
but
kind of
they
rippled
weren't.
out, right? That
Yeah,
it had a
it
pretty
doesn't
big
affect.
impact on the market itself.
It had a big impact on the market, but it doesn't affect the um, the optimism of crypto. It only makes me want to, because they're almost like not just scamming people, but giving people doubts about crypto. People, they don't want people to buying crypto. They want people buying something else, but not something that they can actually own. Because money to most people is dollars or fiat currency that's manipulated and printed and stuff. So they don't want people to start buying their own crypto. So it's always going to be, on the news during these times. It'll always be like, oh, this is very dangerous. I wouldn't risk
Yeah,
your money. Bitcoin's
they're
very
going to
unstable.
amplify that, right?
Yeah, the
Of
fear, the doubts. This is where the bear market bottom is, and this is what's
uh-huh.
going on right now.
Hmm.
And how many scams like this has there been? I mean, is this
Dude,
likely the biggest crypto
this is the
scam
biggest one.
ever? This
This
is
is the biggest one in history.
biggest, bigger than the Bernie Madoff situation, right?
Bigger. It's bigger.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
more
right.
money
So
involved.
interesting. And like with the transferring of money to the Democratic Party or to Ukraine, it seems like maybe somebody was getting a cut because the larger the amount of larger the sum of money that's being moved, the more the bigger the pie, right? The bigger the
Look
pie
at
for
Sandman's
somebody to get a
prosecutor.
cut. What about him?
Look at Sandman's prosecutor. If I'm correct, if she that black lady, if she is the prosecutor, blowing kisses to him and hugging like they're friends, and
What?
all these people are bought out. Everything that's going to happen, even if he goes to trial, everybody that's
Yeah,
it's an evil system where everybody's bought out, especially if it's a Democratic Party. Look at what happened with all these criminals like Pelosi and Biden, and even the Republicans like George Bush, and they're all on one team. So I don't see anything happening with. There might be an explanation. There might be some people getting in trouble, but
Yeah, it's just their turn. It seems like wrestling, like the
uh-huh.
who's going to be the heel, who gets to be the face today, who's going up against
Yeah.
who. How. Oh, you'll be the bad guy. You're going to take the fall on this one. Oh, we need somebody. We need some. Like they have to be a nice, sympathetic character, and then later, they'll go down, but they'll have a resurgence later because the audience loves them and they keep asking about them. So we'll bring them back because it might be, we'll get the ratings. And that's really what we want. We want the
It's a
attention.
cast of characters. It's a cast of archetypes, and each one is used, for their own role, own place. And Pelosi played her role, right? I mean, she was likely the most successful stockbroker in the in the history of stocks.
In the history of politics, maybe
Have you
so.
guys? I mean, you guys have heard that she's not going to be opting for re-election, or
Yeah, yeah.
do you think she just
Which
wants out because people are getting suspicious, and then the whole publication of family life and the whole Paul Pelosi thing? You think it's
Yeah,
related?
usually I think, usually a scandal of some kind is part of the PR movement. Like there are moves being made. When you see things like this, it makes me think like, oh, her husband is involved in some sort of thing, and people are really publicly on to her about the stock trading, and they know.
Absolutely. They're
There are
following
people
her
who follow her, and
and
it's
match.
public, and she gets too much heat. This is like, to me,
Yeah,
it seems like you've seen the movie Blade, right?
I have not.
Uh, well, Blade. It's Blade is like any vampire movie generally, where the vampires live among the humans,
Okay.
and they they have their own society, and they're with each other, and the worst thing you can do is call attention to vampires. That's the worst thing a vampire can do. A vampire can eat anybody. They can do whatever they want as long as they don't get caught and bring attention, because once everyone knows about it, then they start hunting it. The best thing you can do is just make them believe that it's not true. That's just a conspiracy theory. Vampires don't exist. That's just, well, crazy. No, this is just a perfectly rational explanation for the fact that all of these career politicians who've never done anything, who have law degrees, who never practiced law or whatever, and they're millionaires, millionaires on public servant salary. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yuriy, we're talking about Nancy Pelosi and her stock trading and the fact that she's not going to be running for re-election. But I mean, she put in time, man. She was in the government for way too long, right?
Yeah.
She was a
She needs to enjoy
career
her last days.
politician.
She needs to enjoy her last days. She made a lot of money during this time.
Oh yeah,
and they need to enjoy their money. I mean, I don't blame her.
and people have been tracking her, and I think there has been some heat placed on both her and other people in the Senate and Congress who are also involved in inner trading, that kind of a thing.
I mean, wouldn't you do it if you were her? I would. Yeah, shit. Yeah. You give me that that position where it's like, hey, you can do whatever you want. It's like those kids driving around with no license plates in Russia because their dad's a politician.
Yeah.
Dude, I totally do everything. I'd be Biden's son.
Yeah. I've mentioned
That's a good
before.
point.
That's like anybody in her position would probably do the same. And it's not about the money anymore. It's about the power and about the
She's untouchable to some degree.
She at this point she is. Yeah, she's so deep rooted, like all her friends of the friends of the friends,
All her
and then,
connections,
all the connection, and she has dirt. Imagine how much dirt she has on everybody.
Yeah. Over 30 years, how much information she's compiled that could be used as blackmail, right?
Dude.
I mean, influence.
Her father?
What about her father?
I'm trying to remember something about her father. Something about her father and Italians. Something about father and Italians and crime in some sort of organized fashion.
So
that.
It might run in the family. That's even more interesting, because
Yeah,
if she's
it's not
a second or
surprising.
third generation kind of person who's doing it, then that means that she has some sort of inherited skill in doing it, right?
Yes, well, she's definitely got the connections. 100%.
You know where she started her career, right?
No.
She won a best titty
Spelling bee?
award in her town when she was like 18 or 19. Best breasts of the town. She
like
won.
a wet T-shirt contest?
No, it was like who had the best set of chi-chis, and she won.
That was the thing, huh?
You can look it up on Google. She's all proud.
No, thank you.
Nice titties. I mean,
And she's
when she
super
was
young?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, 18. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's pretty young.
18 or something like that. But that's when she got her start, and then it's good for her. She went from that to being the Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Her father was Thomas Ludwig John D'Alessandro Jr., born 1903. He was the 39th mayor of Baltimore, and he was a representative in Maryland. So, yes, family of politics.
Yeah.
That's another, the Pelosi, the Biden, the Bush, the Clinton. It's almost as if these are like family names of nobility. It's almost as if it's the literal definition of oligarchy. Almost.
Yes.
But it's
almost.
totally a representative democracy, actually, was what it is.
Same thing with
But it just
the
looks like
Trudeaus.
that.
Same thing with the Trudeaus, and I'm sure it runs in
They're all family.
most
In a way.
countries.
They have blood related ties.
Yeah. I mean, Canada's tied to Cuba via blood as well, right?
You
Perhaps.
think you think
Justin's
Trudeau's
father.
Castro's boy?
Look at those pictures, man. Look at the pictures.
Yeah,
Look,
They
it's.
do
I
look
know.
alike, but
I was bowled over when I saw it too. Like
yeah.
the face, the structure of his face compared to who's
just
allegedly
like
his father.
Woody Allen's boy doesn't look like Frank Sinatra, right?
Hmm. Interesting. I haven't looked into that one.
He's a
Yes.
copy.
Let's connect this.
Hey.
Let's connect this to Ukraine and the recent happenings that almost triggered World War III. The rogue missiles that ended up in Poland that ended up killing a couple farmers, right? And it ended up that it was Ukrainian missiles
False flag.
that were basically trying to shoot down Russian rockets and cross the border in Poland. I mean, the world was this close, this close. I mean, they even sent out the signal, be like, hey, look, Poland is being attacked. There are
It's like
casualties. Like
Gulf
there was a
of
push
Tonkin
for
all over
war.
again.
It seems like there's such a degree of trying to escalate the war or like trying to get more people involved, more countries involved, that like anything is on the brink of catastrophe. And what are you guys' thoughts on just like the potential of World War III from this whole Ukraine Russia?
Oh,
Oh shit!
we lost
You
him,
just cut
man.
out. Well, personally, I'm for it. No.
I like that.
Hey, Nick, this is your chance to say whatever you want because Alex not here.
Yeah. No, like that would be horrific. Why? It, I really don't think that there will be a nuclear
Not
war
nuclear,
there.
but if there's
No.
boots on the ground, I think if goes to war or joins the war, they will need a reason, and I'm sure
What?
if they
I
really
mean,
wanted to, they'd find one.
how is like so you don't go to school when you're a parent, but you do pack your kids lunch and you buy their books and you pay for the school and you do so like they just show up at a place and sit at a desk. But the parent really has a lot more to do with the child's education than the kid does. When you think about it, so the US is paying and sending and doing all and maintaining the goings on with help from many other people, many other countries. Not that the U.S. is a person, but the people who are,
You can call them
pulling the
NATO.
strings.
You
Yeah,
can call U.S.
NATO.
NATO.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. They're synonymous. The UN is the U.S.
Yeah,
Like NATO is the U.S. Like in a way, it's I don't know.
they did not give Putin many options. There was the NATO should have been dissolved a long time ago, like they were promising. Was it Brezhnev or who? Which president did they promise that the
That
NATO will
sounds
be?
right.
It was supposed to be a deal, and the deal was broken, and not only broken, but not. That he gave him so many. Look, 2007, Putin spoke at the German conference, and he wanted NATO to back off and start doing business with everybody. No, they kept pushing and provoking him with the U.S. funding it. What's going to happen? I mean, obviously, the U.S. wants Ukraine, and I don't know. Maybe they really want that land and to set up their shop at the border. But that's what would happen if they join NATO, right?
Hey,
Well,
Yuri. Your name sounds very Russian. Are you a Russian asset?
I'm not a spy,
But are you
but
an asset?
if I were
very good
offered
answer.
if I were offered a position, I'd consider it for both. I don't care. I'd be for both.
As a
Most
spy?
spies are are that person that roots for all the teams.
Yes, the double agent.
Yeah,
At
I would
minimum,
consider myself.
minimum double agent.
I get both sides, right? And I know that this war was provoked by NATO and U.S. And not that Putin had to attack, but what other options did he have, really?
Are you Ukrainian or Russian? What's your
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian? And
Yeah.
then do huh? And then obviously, have you talked to anybody that's also from Ukraine and talk to them about your opinion about this war and
Yeah. I mean,
their
it's
reaction?
it's a mixed batch. The more informed people I can have a conversation with them about this. The uninformed people, um, what's the point of me bringing it up? Because it's just you know it's the first time that they hear it's actually more of an attack at that point. They feel offended. But if I'm gonna talk about this topic, if I'm gonna say what I feel, I'm gonna have to talk to people that understand what I'm saying. I'm not just
Hmm.
going to come up to people that are holding a Ukrainian flag on the street and tell them, hey, what do you think of NATO? It's pointless. Obviously, I know what they think. They don't think.
Have you talked to? Do you know Sergey? Serge? Alex Serge?
My
Muller?
cousin
Sparky.
Sergey.
Yeah, I do.
Have you talked to him about this?
No,
No.
I don't talk to him much, or I don't remember the last time I did a few years ago, but I wouldn't need to talk to him about it. I don't think, if I do end up talking about this, is like I said, like it wouldn't be like a forced topic. If
Yeah, no,
somebody asked
don't.
me my opinion, I'd tell them the truth. Though I'm not gonna
It's
say, what I
yeah.
don't believe.
Right. The only reason I'm asking is because I had a short conversation with him about the bomb the missile that fell, and he was 100% he was 100% sure it was Russians, and it came from like Black Sea and blah 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 blah, and then all this propaganda. It's like it's just Russian
Yeah.
propaganda. I'm just like, you don't know the fact, it just happened. Like we have to wait for like everything to be the
Yeah.
fact, and then like I'm sending him like articles from like AP, you know, um, and then from like other magazines saying that like no, it was just a stray,
It's never gonna
defense
work.
rock
Uh,
that yeah, and he's
you
like, oh, I don't. He's like, oh, it says probably. He says in the word probably was. And he's like, it was like likely it was. And then he's like, they didn't say it is. They said it's likely. For him, it's
Yeah.
like just that word likely. It means it was not that. It's something else, which is like it's the other way around. Likely means 90% it
the
is,
bomb, the bomb is
10% is
not.
not.
The bomb is not even something that would turn him over, anyways. Even if he found out that it was Ukraine or somebody else, or it was a false flag, doesn't mean that he's going to change his narrative and his paradigm about what's going on with that event. It's just like when the debates are happening and people find out some shady stuff about like if they're supporting Biden and they find out Biden's son has got a laptop and he's banging 14-year-old hookers.
Yes.
False,
Sam Harris.
fake news,
Sam
man.
Harris wouldn't even look at the Hunter Biden like
Yeah,
issue, and he was like, whatever is happening with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, he's like, Trump is what word did he say? Infinitesimally worse. Like whatever Trump was
Infinitely
doing,
worse. Yeah.
yeah, infinitely worse with the Trump University and things like that. And he was like, he was content with a conspiracy, something that would basically override a democratic process if it was to keep Trump out of office.
Oh
It's
no,
like
he
everybody
said
has blind spots.
no. Sam Harris said he would even if Hunter Biden had body of dead kids in his basement,
Yes.
he still thinks that
Yes.
the Trump University is worse than that. The Trump University scam that Trump was running, if
Yeah.
it is a scam, it's
Mhm.
worse than dead bodies of He was going in. It's worse than
Yeah.
the bodies of dead kids in Hunter Biden basement. I'm like,
It's
what?
emotional. It's
Yeah,
emotional
a
talk. It's
shitty
teens.
university
It's
It's
picking
just
is
like
worse
teens.
than mass murder.
you scam. Okay, let's be honest. Okay. You scammed rich people of their money, right? You scammed some rich people that paid enormous amount of money for you to go to a Trump university. You have to like specifically want that Trump lecture universe. You want that, bougie, some,
Yes.
Mar-a-Lago events, whatever. You're not going there to learn like, welding or to learn like any kind of like skill jobs. You're going there for connections. And then it's like,
Yes.
and if
Yeah.
even if you scam them, let's say you scam them, like, how is that equals dead body of kids? Like in the basement
Yeah.
of the son of the sitting president. Now random
How
guy,
how is
the
that
son.
not related, right? Like, how are Hunter Biden's dealings not related to the democratic process and like who Joe Biden is? It's very I mean the Associated Press has definitely been carrying the water for this Hunter Biden thing and with Facebook and the censorship. It's it's pretty blatant and they're not even like not even hiding it.
No.
Yeah,
They,
and not
they
the
they
shadow
publish
government
it
as
in
well.
Time magazine and call it fortification. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
actually, everything that we said before wasn't true, and actually, murdering kids is a good thing, and here's why. You know, that kind of attitude, like, no, actually, yeah, it was right that we lied to you this whole time, and everything we did turned out to be the opposite of what we said it was, and here's why that was good. Now we
Yeah,
did it for your own
exactly.
good,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
And it's like,
Let
get
me
the
explain you.
fuck out of here with that shit.
they're
It's
they're
like
curating
reverse.
information.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, actually, no, I didn't cheat on you, honey. What I did was strengthen our marriage
Right.
through unconventional techniques, and you should actually be thanking me because I love you now more than I ever have. You're welcome. It's the
That's the
exact
I
vibe.
same thing as a
That's the
piece of
vibe.
shit boyfriend or husband.
It's
It's the
you
same
never forget.
abusive attitude. And like, oh
It's
yeah, yeah, what really happened in
gaslighting too.
Cancun on that trip? I'll tell you in 75 years, honey.
It feels like the
Like,
press. It feels like the press is gaslighting the public in regards to the whole COVID thing. Like nothing happened, nobody was forced to get COVID passports. Nobody was forced to quit their job or, to take on
no.
a mandatory irreversible medical procedure. It's like, no, let's just
No.
keep going with it and pretend this never happened. This never happened. This never happened. And then they
Yes.
distract with all the other things that are like on the timeline. I think that's part of it. The distractions with so many pieces of information. Some of them are completely unnecessary and inconsequential, right? And some are, and those are hidden kind of
Yes,
in
the
the
red
in the
herrings, right?
undercurrent. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the false flags, there's the red herrings, but it's definitely like some level of ideological subversion. And the Russians are very good with that. The Russians are very good with their propaganda. You know,
Hiding
sometimes
history. Hiding
something.
history is their number one
What's
thing.
interesting in Russia, almost every
Yeah.
single day there is some sort of celebration, some sort of public national holiday, and it's almost every day. I kid you not. And it's like, Putin goes up and he's like, I just want to congratulate everybody with blah 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 blah. And there's day after day after day of this. It's what it reminds me of, like the wine and circus or the gladiators and the
Hmm.
stadiums. It's a distraction, but it you know, keeps people engaged in something as
Sure.
inconsequential as it is. And
Yeah.
Russia's what's happening in Russia right now is very interesting because now they have no true reporters left. The reporters have fled the country because even by saying that Russia was engaged in a war can cost you 15 years in prison.
Yeah. Well,
15.
that's like that's
That's
like
Well,
real.
that's like
here's
the
why that's good. No, that's good because you
other.
can't have
Yeah.
misinformation. Because if
Right.
people put
Right.
misinformation, then people could die, and we're supposed to protect people from dying while we're not doing this war. That's only a special military operation. Because we're not
There's
actually
no
at war.
difference. There's
Don't
no
don't
Very
say
difference
it. How
special.
dare
between
you? How dare you say that? How dare you say
asshole.
that? I'm doing something special for you.
But people
It's
are
like
pushing
claiming.
back. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like
they've
claiming.
burnt down. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, there's a little
No,
delay. It's like claiming there's like a free speech United States, but then there's none in Russia. It's like there's no free speech United States. Free speech in like the way people think about it. There's no people. You get banned, you get
Yeah,
canceled, you get like,
right.
it's not.
And
There's
this is
no.
the last 5 years. That's been a huge issue where people are getting
Mm.
banned off of platforms. Or yeah, deplatformed. Look what happened to Alex Jones. They made an example out of him, didn't they?
Oh
Right?
yes,
They're
yes.
like, you must pay trillions of dollars.
It's like stupid. That's isn't that like akin to crucifixion? That's like
Yes,
legally crucified because it's the most horrific, unnecessary form of
Yeah.
killing. Like, yeah,
it's public
actually, you're gonna have a
humiliation.
trial, and we
Yes.
already know that you're guilty. Like we've
Yep.
seen the video, we've all seen the video. There's no point in having this due process. You're guilty. Pay us a bazillion trillion fulfillion dollars now,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
can never work again. You can never speak in public again. You don't deserve it.
He's
You
been
have lost your
excommunicated
speaking privileges.
and
Hey guys, I got to
publicly.
roll.
Oh,
Thanks for
all right,
jumping on, man.
Dude,
all right,
When
man.
are next time you have a meeting? Let me know. I'd like to join.
Let's
You
do
should.
this in
Okay.
person, man.
Yeah, you should
Yes,
come down
Wednesdays.
and hang out in person. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
person
honestly.
would be good too. Let's.
even
Oh,
better. Yes.
Alex one left again. Are you still up there in Bottle?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
All right,
we'll
cool.
reach out.
Yeah,
We'll reach out.
we're north
So
side. Let's talk.
let's connect again, and maybe in person would be better. There's some stuff I wanted to cover about Tartaria next time, but you guys should look into it a little bit, and so it's going to be it's a very fun topic. If you look into it a little bit, then
Okay.
I just got into looking into it. Maybe I don't know. I heard about it earlier with all the Tartarian Empire buildings and their architecture and stuff. Started to look into it more and found a lot of cool stuff. And even in our area, we can find remnants of that culture. So I already
Hmm.
told Alex about it. So we should maybe next time when we get together look into it.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, man. Thanks for jumping
Yeah.
All
in.
Thanks
right.
for joining us, man. You have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Thank you.
We'll
Bye
see
bye.
you.
For whatever
All
reason,
right.
my connection keeps cutting out and it keeps kicking me out of the room and it says like
You talk too
problem.
much, Alex.
It's got to be
You
it.
talk too much.
Yeah, if it was
You're-
kicking anybody out of the room, it should be me for talking too much.
You know, Yuri went to Ukraine a few years ago, right? And he got to hang out in Kiev and like all the major cities that are probably in complete shambles right now.
Is that before the war? Oh, and he's gone. And he's gone.
These Ukrainians are dropping like flies, man. We gotta watch and make sure they're okay.
Man, that is definitely true. Hey, Alex,
There
you
you
got
go.
maybe use your phone internet, not the Wi-Fi. Maybe it's something with the Wi-Fi. I don't like. Actually, that should be the case because you would like go back and forth between Wi-Fi and LTE, right?
It's telling me to use Wi-Fi, so I'm using Wi-Fi. I wonder if it's a browser thing, because last time I was having issues with Safari as well. Maybe I need to like update Safari.
Oh, he is on his computer. Oh, that makes sense.
No, he's on his phone, right? As it works
Wait, what?
on Safari on the app on Apple, but Chrome on Android if you're using a phone, and it works in Chrome pretty well. That's what I'm using now on Mac. So it's.
I mean, it
I mean,
works on my browser on Safari.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to use. So
I'm
I
sure
don't
there's
know
an
why he's
app,
having
right?
trouble. It might be an update. He might need to update it.
Well, if it's a browser, there's no updates though.
Yeah, the browser gets updated. They update Safari on your phone.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He needs to update
Yeah.
his phone.
Yeah, he may not.
Interesting.
Yeah, he may not be compliant.
He needs to be updated.
Yes,
Alex needs some updates.
that's what it is.
We figured it out. We both doctors, right?
Yes. Well, I may not be a doctor, but I do play one on TV.
On the internet.
I do self-medicate,
Do you
so that counts.
self prescribe medicine to yourself? I write myself.
No, I do not. I do not treat, prescribe, heal, or cure.
Or
All I
diagnose.
do, or diagnose.
Yes.
I do none of those things, nor do I give any advice of any kind. I'm not a doctor or anything. I am a dog walker. So maybe take my advice about dogs, but nothing else.
Absolutely.
That does
Yes.
make sense.
Animal husbandry. I trust Nick
Yes.
with any kind of animal husbandry related
Sure.
topics.
Chicken stuff, I got you. Obscure literature passages, yes, it could probably work.
I
But
was surprised at Yuri's position about Ukraine because I was expecting him to be more of like Surge, but I guess maybe because he's in the cryptocurrency, it does give me it does give me a
Russian
vibe that
vibes.
he's yeah. No, it gives me vibes that he's more of like he's kind of like maybe watching like some other
Red Ice, maybe.
no,
Redacted.
more like the
Stormfront.
other video sharing platforms.
Yeah. Rumble, Odyssey,
Yeah.
BitChute.
If you
Well,
had
what
to
else?
guess, he would like, if I had to guess, like, I'll be like, he's watching, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's watching some other,
Well, what do you think? Like Majid Nawaz, or are you thinking, like I said, like Red Ice, or is it? I don't know. Is it like Rebel News or farther, or like where? You thinking it's right, or far, or left, or
I don't know, actually. What do you think? I don't know. Is he,
it's 4chan?
oh, you know what? That's kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case. I wouldn't be
Reddit? I don't know. He
surprised.
doesn't strike me as a redditor,
Hmm.
but I don't know. He is an interesting character. I'd be curious to find out.
Never met, yeah, never met him in person, so I do not know. But
Yes.
I would be very curious to find out, like, kind of like have him smoke some weed and, like, talk to us.
Yeah, like no shit. He keeps dropping out. Shit. Hey,
Right after he gets in.
yes. I wonder. I wonder if I could turn back time. I wonder if I could like put you on a signal call and then turn it on speakerphone, and then you could hear his voice through my mic, and he could hear us.
I mean, we can just move all of us on to Signal.
Yeah, maybe that's possible.
Do you have it on your computer
Yes.
or maybe like
Yes.
Messenger or something?
Yeah, I have Signal on the computer. We can end the broadcast now.
Okay, let's
Switch.
go to Signal. Wait, so you're making a group call, or
Sure.
do you want me to make one?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll see you
Okay.
later.
All right.
Bye.